Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time, so I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
I want you to imagine gladiators in the ring in the ancient times of the Roman Empire, and then add 800 horsepower to it. I want you to imagine the fight for a championship, the fight for your life. 6 seasons long now that we've been going here for Saturday Night Racing League and live from the last great Coliseum. It's Bristol, baby. Saturday Night Racing League. Chase race number 4, live here on VSPEED. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn in production and trailer. I tell you what, Connor, this racetrack is such an asterisk on this chase. This is where we could really tighten it up. A new name is most likely to go to victory lane here.
I think it's very likely we get a new winner go to victory lane because we've never really had a repeat winner here. We've had different winners every single time that we've come here. You know, whether it's Joshua Banks season 1, Ray Massey won that crazy, ended up being a Sunday morning race. In season 3, we had Bailey Turner go to victory here. We weren't here last season, so that's something that drivers probably aren't quite used to this track maybe in this car. We're going to see high tire wear. That could be an issue if we get a long green flag run. But the points battle is obviously what we're looking at right now. Joshua Banks, Bailey Turner, above all, they've been the two best drivers, two most consistent drivers in this chase. Bailey Turner's been probably the most consistent. He just hasn't had the victory that's kept Joshua Banks in the points lead because of his win in Miami. By only 4 points, Phillip Brewer, huge win last week, gets him within 15 points. Really down to these three, pending on potential chaos, and we know Bristol brings chaos. You got Jeff Wright lurking, 25 points back, but everyone else behind him and himself, they're going to need some help.
Yeah, mathematically, 32 points out is not out of the question for J.R. Shepard. We could see 8th place on up, still snag away, but you got guys 9th, 10th, all the way back to 14th that have signed off here for season number 6. It's been a long one. A lot of racing has been done, but ultimately we have here and we have Kansas to settle the championship. Let's see how this all shakes out. A look here at the track map. Bristol, Tennessee. A racetrack that's been compared to putting socks and shoes in the dryer. It's a gymnasium with cars in it. You are constantly in the ringer here, Connor.
Yeah, it's not really a very fun racetrack as a race car driver in certain senses. I mean, there's a lot of tracks you can get into a rhythm. I think Martinsville's a track you can get into a rhythm pretty quickly. North Wilkesboro is a track you can kind of get in a rhythm, kind of pretty stable at those tracks in the corners, and you have at least a little bit of a rest at those tracks. You don't have a rest here. You're always gripping the wheel, high banking, high action. You're never alone on this racetrack. It is a conveyor belt of cars. Martinsville's a conveyor belt too, but you're just working so much harder here with the high banking, the high speeds. The handling's a big issue. Aero's still a big issue as well, and we're going to see high tire wear compared to other short tracks we go to most likely as well. So these drivers are going to be working all 200 plus laps tonight.
Sun coming down, track temp around 83 degrees, but let's get it down track side and show you your grid. 15-3-1-1 for Dakota Floyd. He's going to get the pole award in the number 57. And last week's winner, it took a while, but Phillip Brewer turning up the heat. He gained 5 positions in the points. He will start outside the front row. Ray Massey and Bryce Shoemaker, 3rd and 4th position. Then you go back to Joshua Banks with Chuck Sweeting starting in 6th. 7th spot, it's going to go to Ryan Carlisle with Jeff Wright starting in 8th. Needs a lot of help here tonight. Rob Hamp, J.R. Shepard rounding out the top 10.
Ben Lapter will start in 11th in a number 64. Caleb Weekly in the 12th position, a little further down the points at this point in the season. Kenny Kibbe also needs a lot of help, 26 points back. A win could go a long way for him. He'll start 13th. Villager Horonis 14th. Brandon Wallace 15th with Bailey Turner crucially back there in 16th, 4 points backward right now. Derek Garrison, another start in the series. He will be in the 17th spot. Elliott Butler, who could have been a dark horse for the title, still not out of it, 26 points back as well. But he'll start back in 18th. Tim Shanowski 07 will start 19th, and Reggie Ortega will start 20th.
21st spot going to go to Brian Chambliss with AJ Stravado in the 33. And then you have Michael Jones, Justin Ritchie at 24th. 25th with Casey Lakatos. Christopher Hodges electing not to take a time. 30 cars on this racetrack with Stephen Davis, Keith Shoemaker, then Broderick McLavick, Wyatt Hayes making his second appearance here in Saturday Night Racing League. But we're all lined up as the pace car is going to go around. I got to ask you, Connor, we were talking about new winners. Who is your pick here tonight?
Well, I can't say Phillip Brewer's a new winner. He's going to try to go back to back, but I think track position's very important here. I think even though it's a short track with how high the speeds are, clean air matters and track position starting at the front matters so much. I like where Dakota Floyd is. I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to get that crucial victory himself. He's 31 points back, a win to go a long way. Give him maybe a fighting chance at Kansas.
I like your pick, and you actually stole mine. So I'm going to go with Ray Massey as the surprise winner this season. He's gotten surprise victories before. Why not tonight? As we get set to go for 200 laps. Chase race number 4 underway. Season number 6, Saturday Night Racing League. Already, that's how quick they tick off. 3 laps in now.
And Dakota Floyd wasted no time clearing up in front of Philip Brewer. We know they're kind of teammates. They work together, but he squeezed him up off the corner at a turn number 4. But Bryce Shoemaker wants to push things. Tried to get to the outside of the 57 right there, but couldn't quite do it. Passing on the inside is going to be very difficult. You're likely going to have to see drivers get physical to make that pass on the inside. The outside line, definitely preferred line, not only for passing, but for defending. That's why you saw Dakota Floyd really get off the corner way faster than he was before the 54 got to his bumper. 54 is pushing the pace. 57 doesn't really like that.
Well, remember, it was Bryce Shoemaker in the Challenger Series that led every single lap at Martinsville. He is very versed in the short track realm. He's going to peak for the lead here. And he is putting it on his teammate, 54, 57, actually 44 teammates with the 44. But I tell you what, Dakota Floyd right now, he's got his hands full. It's very difficult to run your pace, run your race at this track.
Yeah, you really don't get a chance to run the race on your own. You're always having to defend against someone, or you're always right behind someone, maybe having to boot them out of the way. And it's very early to be getting the boot on lap 7, but Shoemaker wants to go, but didn't really work for him. He had to jump out of the gas so hard that Phil 44, Philip Brewer, is going to try to get that spot. Not sure if he meant to hit him, but he definitely gave him a tap there. Right there, 57 left room to be inside. 54 gave him a light tap, and judging off how quickly he lifted off of him, I don't think he meant that really hit him, but, you know, it's tight action. One driver's going not as hard into a corner. If you're driving harder into a corner, there's got to be contact.
Look deeper in the field. It's already pretty calm here. Weather up on the top of the screen. 90 degrees now on the track temperature. It's come up 7 since the drop of the green flag. Bailey Turner making a move inside of Rob Hamp. We talked to a few drivers in the pre-race. Chad Klinger said it's going to be very slippery out here tonight. It's going to be difficult, and I think right now a lot of these guys are just waiting for the sun to go down and this track to cool off.
We'll have to see how much it cools off. I don't really think the racing is going to be much different. I'm just more concerned about the tire wear. Ran a race here a few weeks ago, and you know, the tires wear out. You can blow tires here if you get a long green flag run. The likelihood of a long green flag run, you know, it's not very likely, but the chances are not zero. We had a long run in that race I ran. I blew a tire. I lost a bunch of laps after having damage staying out. So drivers are going to have to be worried about that as well. You can't go 200 laps on a tank of fuel. You're going to have to pit at some point. Once that pit window opens, the fuel window opens. Even if you can make it to the end on fuel, if there's a yellow, you can pit to make it to the end on fuel. Those tires are very unlikely to last. So that extra pit stop might make a difference.
Riding on board with Joshua Banks. He's all over the back bumper of Ray Massey there for a moment. Also had the 44 Philip Brewer out ahead of this. Seems like Brewer maybe holding up the 23 just a little bit. And again, your entire conservation mode. You were saying it, Connor. You can't make it all the way on fuel, but you got to stretch these tires a long way. This race goes green. It feels like an eternity.
It certainly will. Your arm's going to get tired if it goes green for very long. Those passes are maybe going to get easier as the tires wear, but they're still going to be difficult as Jeff Wright's going to get that 6th position away from Chuck Sweeting, who had a good qualifying effort. But, you know, these laps are going to tick away in a hurry. You can't really be too patient. There's still a long way to go, but you're giving someone room. Don't want to be too aggressive trying to make that pass too early. And next time you look up at the, you know, at the lap count, you're 70 laps in out of a 200-lap race, and you've got to start going. So these drivers got to be aware that patience is important, but not everyone's going to be as patient as you are, and the laps are going to click off fast as Chuck Sweeting starting to go backwards.
Chuck Sweeting lost a couple spots. J.R. Shepard got around the 75 as well. Now it's Bailey Turner making the pass on the outside. Rob Hamp got around. 75 has lost 4 positions in the last 5 laps now. And after the next one in line for a top 10.
Bailey Turner really has no choice right now. He had a worse qualifying effort than the 35 of Banks. He's having to chase him down a little bit. Banks has gotten away, and Turner's still in this line about 4 positions behind him. So as it would stand, Banks would take an 8-point lead into next week's season finale. Ben Lafter's at the back of this line as well, but you know, qualifying matters here when you get a green flag run like this. So Turner starting at the back, Banks having that advantage early, very costly. It's going to hurt the 24's tires in the long run, you would think.
Another pass made. Ben Lafter will go by on the inside. Will complete that spot for the top 10. Broderick McLavick having a little bit of problems.
Saw him he had some sort of slide out of turn 4. Very easy to slide the tires if you're too aggressive on the gas out of the corner. I mean, that banking will just kind of spit you to the bottom of the racetrack. If you saw, he really had to get out of it, but did a good job keeping it straight. You're already seeing this track put down a lot of rubber on the bottom of the racetrack, and you know, the more rubber you get put down there, the more these drivers are probably have to search to get around that rubber, find grip elsewhere.
Look here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Had the privilege of being here in real life, and I can tell you the grandstands even feel clustered. You feel like you're a can of sardines, Connor. It is shoulder to shoulder, and you feel like if you trip on the steps, you'll fall into the racetrack.
You don't really want to be facing away from the action though, with a track like this, so it's kind of, you just got to make sure you get in your seat before the race, and you probably won't use it for most of the race, use that seat, but either way, great venue. I went there for the dirt race 4 years ago. Got to see Kyle Busch's last Joe Gibbs Racing victory on the dirt, which was a crazy finish. I wish I still had the videos from that, pictures from that, but I do not. But great event, very fun. Not on the dirt today, though.
I'm going to be honest with you, Connor. It should have stayed concrete the whole time. Now, Bristol has over the years seen a number of characteristic changes. This used to be a place where drivers ran single file, and then we went to, you can run the top line and get around the outside and really run that wall. Then it went to, well, we have to add the inside grip, right? We have to add this P11 down on the racetrack to make sure drivers can have multi-groove, because nobody can pass. Everyone's running the wall.
Yeah, obviously.
They created a car.
Yeah. They did create a car that made it even tougher to pass, but like you mentioned, Bristol's gone through a lot of changes. Never used to be concrete, used to be asphalt. Went to concrete, single groove, bottom of the racetrack, bumping and banging type racing. They change it, goes to the top side, still kind of bumping and banging, but still you can't make that pass on the inside, so they add that PJ1. I think that started almost 9 years ago at this point, and now that inside line will start off as the best line. That will wear off. The outside line will come in a little bit more. You kind of have that on iRacing. There's probably more grip on the inside line than there probably is in the real world. We don't have PJ1, but we virtually have it because they can change the grip to what the track actually is. And I think for sure the bottom line is still the dominant line on iRacing. You can't really venture towards the wall at Bristol now since they updated this racetrack. There's a lot of that black stuff near the top of the wall. It kind of mimics what marbles we've seen in seasons past and races past in the real world of Bristol. If you get up into that black stuff near the outside wall, you're gonna lose all grip and probably hit the wall. You get up there, you're gonna have no grip.
And to show you what Connor is talking about here, we'll go into turn 2. Watch here, off the wall, right into there. Turn 3. That black strip he's talking about right there.
And it's a fine line. You get your right sides just barely in it, you're going to lose so much time center exit and probably not be able to avoid the outside wall. You're seeing drivers test it a little bit. You can still run up the racetrack, make some speed, but you can't just go and wall bounce like we've seen in the former scan of this racetrack, the way this track kind of used to run, where you could run the top, kind of bounce the wall, whether accidental or on purpose, and get that huge run off the corner. Still get that run off the corner as you're seeing Philip Brewer use it to defend the 35 of Joshua Banks, but you get a little bit too high up, you're going backwards.
Dakota Floyd has led every single lap, and just like you mentioned, Connor, you look down, you look up, and suddenly you're 40 laps into this run, you're starting to think about pit stops.
You're really not going to think about pit stops because you're so paranoid about a yellow. Remember, we're running a single pit lane, so you can't just go down your backstretch pit road and then come out pretty quickly. You probably lose a lap, maybe 2 laps if that was the case. But single pit road means you got to enter at the exit of turn 2, the pit entry there, go all the way around turns 3 and 4, and then finally exit pit road, entering turn number 1. You probably lose 3 to 4 laps pitting under green here. So you're going to see everyone probably stretch the fuel and the tires as far as it can possibly go. We thought we were going to see that lead stretch out for Dakota Floyd. That has not been the case. Bryce Shoemaker's chased them back down.
Shoemaker putting the pressure on in the Reese's Ice Cream 54.
And Joshua Banks is right
left.
there too. Whoa!
Yeah, 35 has been quiet.
Looked for it. If he gets to the lead, Bailey Turner is not going to be liking that. He's the last person he wants to see leading this race. Dakota Floyd, he'd be okay with that. Bryce Shoemaker, good story, really fast. Had to lift out of the gas to not hit the 57, but 35 is probably the worst case scenario to be the leader for the 24 right now.
54 has peaked at the lead twice now. He'll do it again here. And off the corner, looks like the 35 of Banks is going to get to the outside and benefit from this. Use the pick for the 57, but they'll stay side by side. It's not over yet.
I think the 57 wore his stuff out. He's just not getting into a corner contact for the race lead. I think the 54 is the faster car right now. He just can't get that room on corner exit to really get a run and complete that pass, and Banks knows that. He's probably not going to be able to get by the 57 and the 54, so he's just got to maybe try to get the 54 out of second place first and then go for the race lead, because he might be faster than both of them, but we're not spreading out in the top 8 at all. I mean, we're all the way back to Bailey Turner. These guys are on top of each other. You got a feeling Dakota Floyd's the cork in the bottle right now.
You got to wonder if the 54 does get around the 57. Is that going to spark Bryce Shoemaker to the lead? Does he drive away? 35 is caught up 2 positions to get here. And we got another driver that's kind of on offense now. J.R. Shepard has gained 5 positions. Started back in 10th and looking to the outside for a 6th spot.
Yeah, this is one track where you can have a lot of people move through the field and maybe not fall back, because track position does matter. And we'll see if we get that long run. These guys start fading, but he's up 5 positions. Bailey Turner's up 7 spots, crucially trying to keep up with Joshua Banks. Elliot Butler's up 7, up to 11th, and AJ Stravato started 22nd. He's up to the 12th spot.
Look to the inside for the 35 of Banks. Shoemaker going to defend on the outside for the 2nd spot. Really close to the wall there on lap 46.
And all of a sudden, 57. All of a sudden, 57's actually started to put some distance between Shoemaker and Banks. Actually made that pass on Bryce Shoemaker look pretty easy. So maybe it's Shoemaker who kind of wore stuff out in the 57. Maybe he was saving something, but as soon as he got the 2nd, the 35 started gaining big time.
It's weird to see that accordion effect, but you said it. From 1st all the way back to 10th. We're fine right now, but we're accordion back together after 40 laps, 50 laps in. Looking like a change for the lead.
It might be a change for the lead. It's no better 15th on back. That's another accordion effect. It's almost like a super speedway pack. These guys are on top of each other. Ben Lapter's got the boat. Ortega's going to go up into the outside wall, really stack things up. They're going to keep it straight for now. At the same time, Banks goes for the race lead. But this is how packed up it is. You got that cork in the bottle. It stacks things up. This is what can happen.
Still very tight back here in 16th, 17th position. The lead battle on your screen. Dakota Floyd defending into 3 and 4. Off of the corner. He led last time by 0.02 of a second. He'll lead again.
And just like that, by the way, it's only been, 20 minutes, and we're 50 laps in, quarter of the way through. So that's how quickly things can go here, and that's how tough this pass is. We say it at every track. The outside line's the dominant track for really easier passes and also defending, but it's no different here. It's actually more prominent here with that outside line. So hard to beat, even when you're faster than the guy. That outside line just gets such a run. They can prevail even if their tires are worn out, even if they're just not as fast. Lap traffic could dictate the battle. They are catching Broderick Lavick. It's a long way up to more lap traffic, but that could always change the difference. That could change the battle of a lead as well. We've seen it all the time at short tracks like this.
Off the throttle a little bit there for Dakota Floyd. He's still trying to defend, but didn't get the exit that he wanted. That time he does. You got to be feeling it here. Again, you can't run your pace. You're paranoid. You don't want to caution. There's 1,001 factors, and then on top of that, you're going to have Roderick Vaclavic in your lap in just a moment.
Gotta be honest, Dakota Floyd, how much pressure he's under right now. He probably wouldn't hate the yellow just to get a reset. But, you know, Banks has not gotten to his inside as much as I thought he would, but I think Dakota Floyd's hanging on. He's using all the racetrack on the exit of the corners. Ben Laughter's also been struggling, just trying to keep his car in one piece. He started to fade back a little bit. All these guys, Richie, Sweeting, Chambliss, have gotten by him. Sweeting has faded, but the 64 definitely struggling a little bit on pace. Licata's trying to crack into the top 20 right now.
It was in the top 10 just about 30 laps ago, and now running in 21st spot. Asa Licata's just got by Reggie Ortega, the next in line. Remember, there was contact a moment ago. Ortega ended up 3 wide. He'll get clear of the 64. Here comes the 15 of Chris Hodges in 23rd.
Hodges back there as well. A lot of drivers who started back here and just haven't been able to climb. But like you mentioned, there are those guys who started near the front and have just kind of plummeted. Ben Laughter's back 11 positions. Caleb Weekly's back 17 spots. Ortega might have gotten the wall there out of 4 again. Chuck Sweeting's back about 11 positions as well.
Ortega is struggling. He got by the 64 of Laughter, got loose, and lost 3 spots out of it.
And I think that was that black stuff we're talking about. And right there, the 15 of Hodges got into it. It didn't hurt him too much as the yellow flag's out, crash on the front, and it's Brian Chambliss. And that's that break Dakota Floyd's probably okay with getting that yellow.
We'll use one of our 6 tire sets, but let's back it up real quick, see what happened to the 9. Running back here with Chuck Sweeting. This is around the 16th position.
Sweeting had been going backwards. Chambliss kind of been sitting in around this spot. Gets to the inside, and just kind of the same thing we saw with Vaclavic, except he couldn't quite hold on to it. Locked the brakes up, got to the inside wall, and that's all it takes to get a yellow here.
That will bring a flood of cars down pit road on lap 61. And I would assume everybody is going to bring it in.
Elliott Butler blinking a lot. I don't know if that's going to be able to hold up. Chandler's actually going to stay out. I guess pit the next time. I guess he did go a lap down, so he might have no choice but to take the wave. But you have some drivers on the backstretch pit road that'll have to come around in a little bit. Justin Ritchie, one of them. Michael Jones, Licata's. Everyone else about 18th on up on the front stretch. And pretty key pit stop, especially for Joshua Banks. If he can get into his stall good, maybe get a lucky timer on the pit stop, getting the lead here would be very important for controlling the race.
One caution in 62 laps. Saturday Night Racing League putting on a fantastic show all season long. But let's watch the battle out of pit lane. Those green caution, or those green cones there on the exit of pit, that is the mark for who wins the battle off of pit lane, and it's going to be Floyd, barely.
#1 pit stall. That's actually very crucial here, I would say. You see where those cones are. They're literally at the exit, at the edge of the 57's pit road. So that might be the biggest advantage on iRacing that we could get here for a leader. So that pole, so important. He just has to go really 2 virtual feet to get that lead away. So even if he does have a poor pit stop, he's only got to go about 2 feet.
Watch the jack drop, and we're right on the throttle.
Got to be quicker than that. I've never noticed how pushed up those cones are. That's actually a huge advantage for the pole sitter here. Also on the backstretch, if we were running double pit lanes, it would be a big difference.
But cautions breed cautions. We know this, Connor, and now that we've had our first yellow of the day, we've grouped these guys back up. That confidence and, you know, maybe these drivers and their patience has already worn out. We're going to find out now as we're about a third of the way through this race. Green flag is out. Back underway with Dakota Floyd into turn 1. Bryce Shoemaker, one of the dominant cars in the top 3. Back on the inside of the 35.
I think I see drivers more aggressive on this restart. Once again, the tires are a question mark if they can go 140 laps. Oh, 54 is going to spin right in front of the rest of the field. Chuck Sweeting spun in the background as well. So 2 separate incidents bringing out this yellow.
99 had to almost bring it to a complete stop there. I'm not sure which one triggered the yellow.
I think it was the 54, but definitely 2 separate incidents. 54 looked like he just spun, Did not see what happened with the 75.
Look here with Chuck Sweeting and the contact.
Oh, he gets in
just
that. Gets in that black
Yep.
stuff. Just lost all grip. Also cold tires, and then the two Ortega just couldn't check up. But that's another thing. That might not have necessarily just been the black stuff on the top of the racetrack. Even on cold tires, if you send it into the corner, it's going to slide on cold tires, and you just can't send it into the corner and expect to have that grip on the right side tires. It just won't be there. And as far as Bryce Shoemaker, just same thing we've seen third time already. Maybe a little bit of aero for Philip Brewer, but it's also the same thing we saw of Vak Lavic as well as Brian Chambliss on that first caution. You just get a little bit too much gas out of the corner, too much wheel in it. That combination, you're going to end up spinning out. And he was thankful not to come back up in front of traffic after overcorrecting. Aero won't help that either. It's still in play here. It's a break for Chambliss, though. He gets the lucky dog, so he'll be back in business, be able to repair that damage.
Repass position for the 9. We'll get back on the lead lap. We're going to take you side by side, just shy of that halfway mark. About 30 laps to go when we reach lap 100. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors. More coverage continues from Bristol. Chase Race 4 after this.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish! It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back here to Bristol, where we just had a quick flash of green flag racing. In fact, my graphics didn't even catch up to it. That's how brief it was. Caution there. We saw it on the quick replay. Ray Massey to the inside wall after a checkup. And that was almost season over for Joshua Banks. He's able to recover and save the car.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get another look at it, but that was an odd restart where he was almost going to have a chance to stay on Floyd's outside to get the race lead, but overdrove it, got in that black stuff, and almost lost the championship. But he's got another day to live here. He's going to restart back in third.
Green flag's back underway, and we got Ray Massey heavily damaged. Kenny Kimmy possibly out of this race. Dakota Floyd leads him into turn 1, and there's J.R. Shepard. Where did he come from?
He got around that 35 barely. I don't think either car has damage. Banks has got to be thinking he's pretty fortunate to not have damage. Same thing for J.R. Shepard. As yes, Kibby's out of that race. He hit Ray Massey. I know where he could go. His title hope's over. But Banks going to push really hard. Short run, low contact. Left rear of the 57 for the race lead.
So from almost losing the championship and completely out of it to now side by side for the lead in just quick succession.
And he's going to push really hard to try to get this lead, no doubt about it. We know how important controlling the race is right now, especially with how even everyone at the front is. And he's got the preferred lane on the short run. I think that outside line, it takes a little bit to come in. It needs the tires to wear for it to be the better line. Right now, that inside line's where you want to be with the rubber cleaned off, but Floyd's giving it his all, trying to hold on.
And you know, as the 35, you took a couple stabs at the lead this time by... It looks like he might lead a lap. He's got the bottom figured out across the stripe by about 8 thousandths of a second.
Just barely, so gonna get that maybe first lap led, not for points, but it gets him a little bit closer to clearing that 57, getting that run center exit to get that 57 for the lead. He's a lot better on the exit 2 than he is on the exit of 4. He just can't complete that pass, and Floyd's giving it 110%. He's getting into a wall using all the room, but right there, that's where the 35's at his best. He tried to clear up in front of him, but couldn't quite do it, but I think right here he's gonna have him.
Back in this setup that he's used to. Remember, he salvaged a top 3 on podium finish in an Airbnb on a racing wheel that should be in a museum, in my opinion.
And now back on it. You saw how much focus that took. The leaning, I mean, it all matters. And no doubt he was fast. He was pushing everything he had on the short run. As Jeff Wright, Jeff Wright, Rob Hamp had contact for 4th there. But this is so important and not what Bailey Turner wanted to see. That 35 getting the clean air and pulling away. Now the battle's for 2nd.
Battle for 2nd, battle for 4th. Hamp on the outside, trying to defend against Jeff Wright.
And all of a sudden, 57.
It's turned across the line. Rob Hamp, caution's out.
And we talked about how important controlling the race is, and as soon as he lost control of the race, he gets in an incident. Not going to be happy about that, I'm sure.
It's all live on your screen. We'll take a look back at it. We'll also take a look back at what happened during that commercial break, but right here's what happened in similar live fashion. 57, like you said, lost control of the lead. 18 gets to the outside. Floyd just kind of, I think 18 maybe down a little bit. Meet in the middle.
I think it is a meet in the middle because Hamp's no lower than the 98 is off the corner exit. But he does have a car that was inside, so maybe you think he's got to go up a little bit. It's just, I think they kind of both were going for the same piece of real estate as 44 Philip Brewer pits, and I just think they met in the middle. I don't think there's fault on either driver. But we're going to see some pit stops. Rob Hamp from 4th pits, maybe to see if he has damage. Philip Brewer pits, and then a lot of drivers, Licata's on back end up pitting. I don't think fresher tires here will make that much of a difference. I think for the most part, maybe just extra fuel, and as far as the 57 is concerned, damage repair.
But now we're going to take a look back at the replay that happened during that caution.
So that's why Massey spun, is because he was checking up and Carwell couldn't. But this all stems from the restart. It was a very stacked up restart where it's almost like Banks was starting to go, and the 57 wasn't. And then the 44 hits the 35. And you'll see right here, his car off, going to the restart zone. 57 not going. 35 accelerates, but he's not ready to go. Then the 57 accelerated, but Philip Brewer also went early. That's what gave Banks his huge opportunity to get the lead, but he got a little too high right there, lost the car, and it was almost catastrophe because him and Brewer have contact. They somehow got away with that. And then the wreck stemmed from the checkup where Ryan Carwile got into the back of Ray Massey, and unfortunately Kenny Kibbe and Ben Laughter had nowhere to go.
Watch the 24 escape this. This is close.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about how close Bailey Turner came to being in this. Oh, man. That's such a shame for Kenny Kibbe. He won't be able to fight for a championship next week, but wow, I didn't even notice how close Turner came to being in that. That was insanity.
Well, Connor, I'm going to do this to you, and you don't have to comment on it, but I'm going to focus in on it. It's a one-off paint scheme.
You see it.
There
He's got
you
some
go.
good ones.
It's short and sweet, I believe is.
Yes.
All right, that's all we got. Green flag back underway.
We've been seeing the leader take the inside. Dakota Floyd had only been taking the inside. Banks actually takes the outside. You can see how much of a disadvantage that inside lane has because the 98 immediately uses that spot, but that might have been a mistake because now Bailey Turner's going for the race lead.
And he does not want that 35 in front of him.
I got to be honest, I'm kind of surprised the 35 took the outside because Bailey Turner restarted fourth, was able to get that jump, and now he's going to be all over Banks for the lead.
There really hasn't been anybody contesting this top spot for the first quarter of this race. And then you have Banks who took it over just a moment ago. As soon as that happens, the dominant car of the day, the pole sitter, has problems. He's got a long recovery back in 21st position. That's Dakota Floyd in the 57. But Joshua Banks, Bailey Turner do battle briefly. Looks like back to the drawing board. Turner took a couple stabs at it. Jeff Wright, another one of these drivers we talked about in the points that needs everything to go his way. Unfortunately, he has a lot of cars in front of him that he doesn't want to contend with. I don't think this is the day he was imagining coming into tonight.
I mean, he's going to need a win to have a chance at Kansas. Everyone fourth on back, 25-plus points back. We kind of knew they would likely need the win to have a realistic shot at stealing the championship at Kansas. And 6 wins for him. He just hasn't had enough go his way in the chase. Miami had a poor run there. I think that's what this really stemmed from. And also regular season just not getting enough bonus points as well have really doomed him at the same time. So, you know, he's got some short track prowess for sure. He has about 6 wins on short track, which is most in the series, but Bristol never quite been his forte, but running well so far.
When you look at the statistics, Jeff Wright with 6 victories. That's more than pretty much any driver below him, but it's also Joshua Banks, Bailey Turner, 4 points separated here. They have a car
crash.
7. Car in the back, that is Elliott Butler, I believe. Maybe
Tim
Floyd
Shinosky.
involved. Heavily damaged.
Shinosky, Chambliss was in it. See what happened all of a sudden. Things stacked up. Ooh, he's in a little bit high up. Same thing we saw at the 35, and oh, he overcorrected. In fact, Lavick had nowhere to go, and Dakota Floyd had nowhere to go either.
On board with Floyd.
He
see it?
He had contact. That's why he overcorrected, because he spun down to another car. Just poor Dakota Floyd goes from dominating the race to really just surviving at this point, just trying to get something out of the bay. I see who that car is. That maybe Ben Laughter who we bounce off of. I think it was the 54, the Bryce Shoemaker. Gonna see some more pit stops. A little surprised. See, the leaders just came down. Banks, Turner came down. Jeff Wright, Carwile, Caleb Weekly stay out. But yeah, right there, Shinosky spun down the track. Nothing Shoemaker could do. Actually got some decent right front damage out of it. And just when you get a wreck out on the corner exit or corner entry at Bristol, the track blocks in a hurry. But some interesting strategy here.
This is where it shakes up because we're right at that halfway mark. And that might have been where these drivers are kind of thinking, well, I'll throw it down pit road if this race goes green. Now we're hitting the reset button. This is the factory reset on this race. If you think you know what's going on, you don't, because we just had, what, 18 drivers stay out?
We also had Reggie Ortega take 2 tires, a little early for that, but he'll come out in front of Banks. Then Banks, Turner, Shepard, Stravato there as well. But yeah, the tire wear is important, and we talk about it, but you know, the track position matters a lot too. And I think at this point, since most of these drivers last pit, I think the tires can make it. So a little surprised to see so many drivers pit there. I like Jeff Wright's call personally.
It's got a nice cushion of drivers that have half pitted in this segment on this stint. Well, 13 laps. The 39 laps on the stint for Jeff Wright. But you go back to Brandon Wallace, Casey Lakatos, and some of these guys have fresher tires. Bristol not as dramatic with the tire fall off. And it's preference of line here. Track's ever changing.
Jeff Wright just ran his fastest lap 10 laps ago on this set. So track's cooling down. The tires might not matter as much going into this long run.
Big flag back underway. Jeff Wright gets a heck of a boost there. He's going to try to lead some laps and run away with this thing as much as he can. Brandon Wallace under fire from Rob Hamp. Some of these guys that are in the top 5 earlier trying to get back to it.
Crucially for Banks, he restarted on the outside, so he can pick a few of these guys off. Turner, Ortega don't have that luxury. Shepard's high up. He's going to lose the car into the outside wall, but those drivers who restart on the inside, like Ortega and the 24 and the 33, they really got pinned back for 2 laps, and it made a big difference. Front end damage on that, too.
Yeah, the 2-car definitely has had a struggle here today. 35 trying to figure out a way around Chris Hodges. He'll look to the inside. Hodges with 7th spot. Off the corner. Brandon Wallace settles out in 3rd position. Rob Ham, Caleb Weekly. Weekly to the inside. Here comes the 13. Previous winner here, Bristol.
Brandon Wallace up there looking for second, just had a big wiggle. Rob Hamp had to play some strategy, stayed out after being involved in that one incident with the 57, but 13 trying to make that bottom work. We talked about on the short run, I think the bottom's where you want to be, but you're going to have that outside line so clogged up with drivers defending that you're not really going to be able to go anywhere with it. And that's where Brandon Wallace is right now. I think he's making that bottom line work, but he just has nowhere to slide up.
Racing line changing, ever changing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. 4th race of the chase. And what a unique chase it has been so far. I gotta say, it's a handful of racetracks, but it is still every variety that you can think of.
Definitely got a short track fix tonight, and everyone's getting it right now. Huge moves. 33's looking 3 wide back there as we've been past halfway. And these guys on the new tires are getting through pretty efficiently, but still not up to the 48. Banks is kind of pinned in behind the 99 and the 18, and 24, 98 right on this bumper.
We went to Talladega, the super speedway, to start off the chase. Homestead, the 1.5 miles. Michigan, the 2-miler. Bristol, the smallest of the tracks in this SNR chase in Season 6. And a 1.5 miles to finish off. Kansas Speedway coming up on the 8th. You can catch it all here on VSPEED at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You gotta see it. Season 6. After having 4 different champions, we might see a second repeat champion. Banks has looked good, but he's not guaranteed.
You can't count out Jeff Wright with the traffic these guys are in right now leading the race. He could go get it 2 in a row, get his 3rd. You never know, but it's just anxious when you see these top 2 in the title still stuck behind traffic, and they don't want to use the bumpers, but eventually they're going to have to go at some point. Jared Shepard's starting to make good time on that bottom of the racetrack, and I think Turner sees that. The 18 of Hamp is kind of struggling, holding that 35 up. He's going to go to the inside, kind of follow Shepard through if he can.
Shepard kind of using the 99 as a pick, and that's in the background.
Yeah,
still
Hamp
3 wide.
Yeah, Hamp slid up, and just, you know, Banks had to take that room at that point, so very important move for Banks to make there. But now it's J.R. Shepard who's in control of the drivers who are on the fresher tires right now. And Bailey Turner just couldn't quite take advantage and get by with 35.
That's AJ Stravado in the 33. Started back
Whoa,
in
Hamp
22nd.
riding.
Hampa's way wide.
Yeah, just got a little aero pack entering the corner and just lost the rear of the car, drove it in too hard, and it's going to lose all that track position.
He's had a couple problems here in the last couple laps. Look back here with the 3 wide and the 35-24 on the inside. But watch here, washing up.
Put that tent there. It's a big tent.
That is a huge tent. It blocks a lot of racetrack.
I think it's the tech shed, but you'll see right here, the 2's right on his bumper, aero packs him a little bit, and just gets him sideways. As the caution comes out again, it's Stephen Davis at the back. So, and Banks did get by Shepard there to be the leader on new tires, so we'll see if that comes into play, because we'll probably see some guys pit and some others stay out.
You look here what happened to Stephen Davis. He looks to the inside. That's the 22. And then contact, sends it sideways. Michael Jones not at fault for that at all.
Yeah, the 60 drove it in hard. 22, I think, gave enough room. I think the 60 just didn't quite get to the bottom. Just threw into the left rear of the 22. And just went for a lazy spin. They weren't able to avoid, but maybe a much-needed break for some of those guys on new tires. I think it was actually looking pretty good for the guys who were on new tires, as 48's going to stay out again in the 71 and 50 pit. Now he's got no buffer, and now he's in trouble.
Ryan Carwile leading them down pit road. I was watching 6 of Elliott Butler having a blinking issue here tonight.
Yeah, he's been blinking a lot. He's just been sitting at the back because of it. But that was, you know, there's a unique rule at Bristol. You have those orange boxes. Those aren't where the iRacing cones are on pit entry, but I think if you're not under that orange box, you do not, you'll get a penalty for unsafe pit entry. And I think Jeff Wright realized that. I think he wanted to pit, but couldn't make the commitment line at that point. So he might be in trouble now.
Let's see it here.
See right here, that orange box right there. Yeah. I believe you have to be under that at Bristol, which is a weird rule. Only here in Darlington are tracks where I know that has been a rule, and I don't think that's changed. So I think he realized that. Could make it the pit road. You can enter and then decommit on iRacing, though, but fortunately did the opposite. Now he's going to be in a tough spot.
So the wheel cranked to the left, so I agree with you, Connor. I think he was thinking about pit road and realized that he had passed that mark. You don't want that penalty. That'll put you way back.
He's just going to hang on. Floyd? Yeah, I mean, he's out of the race now, unfortunately. Which is a shame because of how good of a run he was having, but it's going to be a dogfight now. I mean, he'll get a good restart and probably clear with 35, but it's going to be tough to hold him back. It's almost a race to see who gets by Jeff Wright first. It could be Banks, but if he gets held up, J.R. Shepard's got the inside line. Bailey Turner, Stravado, all right there on the fresher tires. The freshest tires, I believe, goes to Ryan Carwile. He'll be in about 14th, and we'll see if he can get back through the field.
NASCAR is going to make that left-hand turn, and you're going to see ripping into turn 1. Let's find those volume knobs and get loud, presented by FireStorm Racing. hit loud there. Lead changed. First time today, Bailey Turner's name has been said for the top spot.
And now that's what Banks doesn't want to see. I got to be honest, I'm so surprised Jeff Wright just gave the 24 the outside like that. He's not doing that for the 35. I think he realized he made a mistake there. He was defending pretty well in the top lane and just gave it to the 24. I'm stunned by that.
Maybe not intentional. Car might have got a little bit loose there.
I think he was worried the 24 was going to boot him, didn't want it, but you got to defend the outside line in a situation like that. And he's doing it now. The 35 is probably not happy with it. It's like, why'd you let him by? You're battling the heck out of me. His 50's on the apron back there. A little bit of a slide. Going to go to the back, but 35 is going to get that second spot.
Watch here, Casey Lacatus coming out of 2.
Oh, yeah, big wiggle, center of the corner. And he did a good job making it look like it was nothing. Stephen Davis had a slide just after that. Was able to keep it straight, but now at 35, it's going to be a lot tougher to catch that 24 than it was to catch that 48. He was in the prime position to do it. He just didn't get a good restart, didn't fire off well.
There's a lot of drivers here in the top 5 that have been sneaking up. J.R. Shepard has came and went a couple times. You also have the 33 of A.J. Stravato, who's gained 17 positions to be here tonight from 22nd up to 5th. You have Angelo Horonis in the 29 just behind that. Justin Ritchie, another one of those cars. I'm always looking for the underdog out here. So, we have Ray Massey sideways again.
Massey sideways. I think he kept it straight. He has no rear bumpers, so he's just hanging on. Battles for the lead right now. Banks got to the inside of Turner, just couldn't quite do anything with it, but he's right there, and he did not fire off well at all, but he is right there, and I thought he gave him a tap as just as soon as it was heating up, the yellow's out, and it is Wyatt Hayes and Casey Lacatus who've crashed. Haven't said Hayes' name tonight. Oh, it was a big crash. Caleb Weekly was in it.
Right in front of Weekly.
Hamp's there, and I think Hamp's a little low there. I think he's trying to maybe pinch off the corner, get a lower exit. I think he just pinches him a little too hard, and the 50 tries to take that space up, and it's not there. But I think Hamp was a little low. I think that would be, you got to get a little closer to the wall, I think, in my opinion. And unfortunately, Lacatus, Hayes, Weekly, nowhere to go is going to cause some more strategy. Everyone's going to come down to pit lane this time, I would think. But yeah, 18's a little low there, I think. Poor Wyatt Hayes, nothing he could do, or Lacatus. I mean, all three of them really innocent bystanders in that, but more strategy. Everyone pits. You know, Jeff Wright, it's kind of a net neutral. It really didn't change his race much. He'll get on even tires with the guys he was battling, and guys who pit on the last yellow, like Ryan Carwile and Brandon Wallace, will stay out.
Your race leader in the 24, gonna lead him off of pit road. Looks like right sides go up, left sides go up now. More tires important here at Bristol. Watch the pit exit.
Number 1 pit stall is not in effect anymore, really. I mean, so it's not going to make a difference anymore. Bailey Turner gets out first, and Joshua Banks, not a good pit stop for him. He's going to lose that spot to Jeff Wright.
.139 laps complete, and a caution-free race up to a lap 61. Now 7 cautions. We need a... Oh, boy. This is probably a terrible line, but I think we need a little bit of plan V for the cautions. They're breeding.
You know, we kind of expected that to happen, though. I mean, we had that green flag run, thought maybe we'd get the halfway, not the case, and we've definitely had our yellows. I mean, we knew once everyone knew they could make it to the end on fuel that this run could be going to the end. The aggression rate picked up. Everyone started trying to get positions on the restart. Everyone just, you know, just picked up the intensity for sure. We're going to see it here with 4 guys on older tires. Jeff Wright might be in a good spot here.
There's the restart on board with Ben Laughter. Restarting in the second spot has Hodges to the outside, going into 2.
Oh, turner's going to look 3 wide. Brandon Wallace, almost a squeeze there. He's going to get a run to the inside, and now Jeff Wright's kind of pinned in. The 99's going backwards. Brandon Wallace into the inside wall, and the caution's going to come out again. Look out! Derek Garrison, Brian Chambliss, and Elliott Butler slam into him. Oh man, they just ran out of room. Car in the middle of the track. They were 2-3 wide back there. There's no room for it. No room to get around. Wallace was just struggling on the old tires. Richie, I think, gave a tap to the 55, to the 99. And they just couldn't avoid him. Get a good view. 99 struggles, and yeah, I think a light tap.
And if you're Garrison right now, you're like, what happened? Look at this, in his lap.
He got some of the worst damage out of it.
Yeah, you can't see this. Suddenly now, okay, we got
that's a roof cam.
Yeah,
it's a roof cam. It's not what he's seeing. I mean,
yeah,
you're right
see
behind the car.
Justice.
You're right. Well, first off, that's not helping.
That. No, the epilepsy on the right side not helping at all.
Yeah, he just loses vision of the car, and you're just hoping the guy in front of you can follow him through, and sometimes that's not the case. But yeah, a lot of drivers got big damage out of it. Just all of a sudden, Ray Massey's car is starting to look all right.
I'm kind of liking Ryan Carlisle. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, he pit on the last yellow. He has decent tires. Not as many on this strategy as he was hoping, but, you know, he's got a little bit of a cushion of a 48 who's leading on that other strategy and could net him a victory. I mean, a long way to go still. 50 laps. While it goes quickly, it's still an eternity mentally for all these drivers, and we're certainly not done with the yellows.
I also need to correct myself. In the last couple weeks, I've been calling him Banksy the iRacer. Banksy Sim Garage now on YouTube. No. If you're wanting to search that, or if you did search it and nothing came up, it's Banksy Sim Garage now. You can check him out on YouTube.
Lost him subs.
Yeah, I do my best, okay?
It's going to be a crucial restart, though. You have the 48 who got the jump on the 24, so he'll have the advantage. But especially with Carwell taking the top, it's a huge advantage for Banks and the 48 of Jeff Wright. And a huge disadvantage for Bailey Turner.
He's still got a lot of these cars on a little bit older tires that could set the pick. Let's see how this works out. 3/4 of the way through this race. Big jump here from Ryan Carlisle into turn 1. Side by side, bit laughter for a moment. Here comes Jeff Wright to the outside, tags the wall, but he's still going to get the nose in there.
Turner put the nose to the inside 3 wide. Stravato's in the wall in the background. 15 slides up. 24 forced the issue, but not before he's going to lose that spot to the 35 of Banks. His crash in the background. Cars on the apron. Stravato was one of them who somehow stayed green. Oh, Jeff Wright going for the lead. Oh, he squeezed up. Banks had to lift for him there. He's trying to get this move done on the inside before the 35 can get the 71 on the outside.
Does he slide up here out of 4? He will.
Now Banks is going to have to follow suit. Best he possibly can. 24 the same way. 3 wide, 5th position. Shepard slid a little bit. I could imagine Jeff Wright's not going to make the same mistake giving the guy behind him the top side. If my mentality in these last 50 laps, if you're going to pass me, you're going to pass me on the inside. Oh, 15's in the wall. But if you're going to pass me at the end of this race, you're either getting to my inside and doing it, or you're hitting me.
And Chris Hodges ends up falling all the way back to 14th after that wall contact. Let's take it back on the replay real quick. They had a little help.
Stravato in the wall, him and Rob Hamp, but we've seen it a lot. The 15 a lot, especially on the cool tires. It seems like so many drivers are trying to enter the corner the same speed they were earlier, and the track's too cool. You don't have the grip. And you also, getting the bumper doesn't help either. And we'll see right around this 15 behind him, I think the 33 and 18 has some contact, so they've kept it straight, but now they're both damaged. And no doubt, Banks is faster than the 48, just can't complete that pass, and it's still a mess back there. Yeah, got him off the bottom.
Fitting off the top. That's a mistake he made earlier, but look who's lurking back there, the guy that completed it.
And the only thing Turner can really do right now is try to save some tire, make the 35, maybe use his stuff up trying to get this 48. I think if I'm Turner, though, I'm trying to get in this battle and maybe force both of them into a mistake, maybe get into each other and pick up the scraps. I mean, you got to stay close to him right now in case they do get into it, if you can avoid it.
Jeff Wright, as far as points go and the threat, it's the 35 that I'm worried about as far as the 2014 goes going into Kansas. Jeff Wright needs a victory, but he has a lot of points leaders around him right now. He's going to have to drive his life out to work this and make it beneficial, because you're not gaining anything by having these guys right beside you.
I think, yeah, best case scenario for Jeff Wright well, not best case scenario, but as they run right now, he'd gain 13 points on Joshua Banks. It would effectively cut his gap to the 35 in half, but he's got to hold on to win the race to make that happen. And Bailey Turner, for him right now, it's just another point lost to the 35. They'd still be pretty even going to Kansas, but if he makes that pass on the 48, it's trouble. So if Turner doesn't have the speed to get up there, he is rooting for Jeff Wright to hold him off. He'd rather have Jeff Wright close in and maybe barely be in the fight than the 35 extend that lead so much.
Take what you can get here, Connor. You can't have it all. A race that's very unscripted, live here format on VSPEED. Battle for the lead with Jeff Wright, Joshua Banks at Bristol. Second to last race of the season. Banks gets a little loose, can't complete the pass.
And Jeff Wright's fully comfortable. I don't know about comfortable, but he's okay with doing this for 40 more laps. Just running the bottom when he's clear, when the 35 gets close, just shading up, making sure he doesn't get to his outside, and getting the runs off the corner to defend that way. And I think right now, how much he's been sitting back there, I think Bailey Turner is just trying to keep tires on it in case it goes green and maybe have one more send to get that win. And Jared Shepard's clear for fourth. The battle's still for fifth. Carwile doing a pretty good job holding up some older tires, or some newer tires right now, trying to hang on.
Yeah, fantastic job. He has double the laps. 42 on the stint compared to the 24, so it's roughly double the laps side by side. Richie's going to clear here as we look at the tech shop. Custom cameras here provided by Dougie Beard, and we need a little love here at Bristol.
Smaller tent, that's what we need. Lap traffic could come into this as well for all these positions, or the yellow could come out again, which it has, and it's Michael Jones. And now what do you do? This will be interesting.
I'm coming in for 4. Connor, I have one set left.
I think you might see some drivers take 2. We'll see. Michael Jones, another driver with damage. We've had a lot of them. Battling back there with Ben Laughter for about 18. And he just came up the track and he wasn't clear, I think. A lot of our issues tonight on the exits of the corners. Gets to run. Yeah, he just tried to clear him and he wasn't clear.
After the 64 we're on board with.
33 and 18 hitting under yellow. But we'll see what the call is here. Looks like everyone's going to pit. Not everyone. There goes Bryce Shoemaker. He's going to stay out.
Shoemaker 28 laps on the stint here.
.54 is going to be alone on this, and probably not what he was expecting. We'll see if 2 tires becomes a thing.
It could be a dice roll, though.
I don't think 2 tires are going to win you the race, but I think someone's going to try it. It doesn't look like it. Oh, no. No, I don't think anyone tried it. Jeff Wright's going to get the lead. 35 is going to keep second off pit road. Then the 24, 98, 55. And a lonely man behind the pace car right now.
Yes, it is. It's always lonely when you're in the lead. But Bryce Shoemaker took a stab at it a few times here today. Now going to get his first laps led of the evening. Reese's ice cream Chevy Camaro. Gonna have the handicaps hot fries to the outside.
He's got 30 laps extra on the tires, and we saw with the 71 it made a difference. So 71 was able to hold on for a decent bit, but at least stay in the top 5 for the most part, but it's going to be tough to do.
Well, you got your TV time, but I think we're about to dip some hot fries in that ice cream.
Boy, this is going to be an interesting combination on the restart for sure. Bring some Celsius into the fray as well. Good restart. 48 did not really go.
Excellent jump there, side by side for second spot, just behind. Remember the 54
Go,
got
3
loose
wide.
on his own. Here we go, 3 wide for the lead.
Banks just couldn't quite keep it down there. 48 got high, he got sideways, had to lift out of it. Oh, spin, Rob Hamp at the back. And the yellow's out.
And that buys Bryce Shoemaker some time here.
Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, he was going to get past one way or another. That was just Rob Hamp's looping it. He and 33 had issues under green. Then 33 was hitting him under yellow. I definitely heard a chuckle out of the 33 once the 18 spun there. But yeah, he's got some rear end damage. That won't help him either. But turn 4 again. I thought the 48 was going to get it, but he just got, I think it was when the 35 looked 3 wide. The 54 had to give him room and turn the 18, or not the 18, the 48 had to give room. He just got in that black stuff too much, and it just completely lost grip on him. He was fortunate not to lose more spots, as it's a Christmas ornament, that 6 car tonight.
Yeah, that's
I don't even know why he's still in the race, personally.
that's a strobe light.
I think when it's that bad, you gotta park him. I know he's at the back, but wow, it's not even stopping. He's been doing that since the beginning.
Yeah, that's not a connection issue. That's a computer issue for sure.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, it's weird. I've never seen it that bad, honestly, and not lag out. I mean,
you got to feel for him, though. You got to feel for him. I mean, he's part of this championship, and he's probably like pleading his case every single lap. Like, please let me stay.
Got that win at Dega, just didn't have really anything go his way last week and kind of took away the chance he might have had. Came into this week, I believe, well, actually I don't see, he's 26 points back after being right there. Had a bad race last week, kind of took him out of it, but another reset, another chance for the 48 or the 35 to take advantage, get by this 54. Bryce Shoemaker's hoping he gets a yellow on the first 2-3 laps the rest of this race. Otherwise,
I think he's hoping he wins the race.
He's going to take the outside this time, and that plays in Turner's favor. Well, they're usually in Discord together, 54 and 48, but I think Jeff Wright being on the bottom, pretty big disadvantage here.
'54 has proven he can be up here. Remember,
54 is
took a
not
stab
in the chat as well. They're not in the same channel together, by the way. So this is purely 54 just trying to make a move to keep the race lead, and it's going to be a huge break for Bailey Turner, maybe.
Deserves to be up here. A little bit of strategy to get it back at the point. Great restart here for Bryce Shoemaker.
24 just barely stayed to the outside of the 48 here.
And at the right rear.
Oh, Turner.
Boy. Turner hit the wall.
And then Rob Hamp is spun again. And I think that he has called it a night after that one.
Remember, Hamp started towards the top 10, the 9th position. Got loose right in front of Weekly and loops it around.
Yeah, just same corner and everything. Nothing changed. 54. If he keeps getting that to happen,
yeah,
he's in a good spot. But unfortunately, Rob Hamps left the race, so we'll see. That's the case again.
You say it. I mean, we're trying to be as serious as we can be here, but Bryce Shoemaker has proven that he can be up front. He was stabbing at the lead. This is a different racetrack, I'll agree. But again, when you have a car like this and you have that glimpse at the lead, you're chasing that forevermore. 54 doesn't get very many opportunities this season. If you look at the stats, he's had some laps led, but he's not had a car that's ran in the top 5. He has the speed to run in this top 5 for sure. You got to put it back up there and give it a chance.
That's what he's doing. I mean, he was at the front earlier, lost that track position, got some damage, has not really been able to fight through all that traffic, and really no one's been able to go to the back and come back to the front. Really no one's done that. So this was his play to try to maybe steal one, at least get a good finish out of the race after he was running at the front. And, you know, he's doing a good job. He's gotten the yellows. He'll have under 20 laps. Try to hold on to whatever he can. But, yeah, it's going to be another interesting one. See if he might be picking inside here. We'll see. I think Turner was mad at the 48. I think he thought the 48 put him in the wall out of 2 before the 18 spun, but didn't quite look to be the case. But looks like 54 is going to take the bottom again. So, once again, well, Turner's not going to be in his favor this time and not really in Banks' favor either. So make it interesting.
Reminder, last pit lap for the 54 on the left-hand side of your screen.
139. Got guys back there. Slightly fresher tires for Stephen Davis. Slightly fresher for Weekly, but likely won't make a difference at this point.
Will this be the last time we see the iRacing pace car? Is it the last restart of the night? Green flag is out. Bryce Shoemaker to the inside.
Again, not a good restart for Jeff Wright. He's going to lose that second spot, and Bailey Turner's got a huge run.
Pretty air on the nose of the 24. Will it be enough? Little check up. He's cutting him a break.
That's going to let the 40 get to be outside, but he's going to be pinned in by the 54 here.
Bryce Shoemaker holding on to the lead for the moment. Off of turn 4, across the line. Shoemaker, one more lap.
Big run for the 48. Honestly, 54 held on better than I thought he would be. Drifted up too high, sideways. 48 had the lift. Shoemaker's in the wall. Banks has big right front damage now.
It's a huge checkup. And it stacks up this entire field.
54 on the wall again. This is chaos waiting to happen. 33 on the V apron. Somehow they've kept it straight. 54, fortunately back all the way to the back. But what a break for Bailey Turner. What a restart to get the lead.
And this changes the outcome of this race, I think, a little bit of car staying out, trying to win the race. I gotta say, for the 54 right now, he's probably regretting this decision. He's falling through this field quick.
Yeah, he was kind of back there anyway, so he had to try something at the end of the season. If you're not in the chase for the title, who cares about the points you're trying to win? So I respect him for trying it, but that almost ended some championship hopes again. 48 barely avoided him. Banks has been able to stay in third, even with that right front damage, and right now, I just don't think the 48 has anything to compete with the 24 to get that lead away without a yellow.
10, 11 laps to go across that line. They tick away quickly. We've single filed out a lot here. Still 20 cars on the racetrack. Elliott Butler still having his connection issue. Ray Massey stuck behind him here. Christopher Hodges in the background there. Mike Carwile still sideways with Laconis. Man, Laconis has got his hands full.
Oh man, all these guys have their hands full. They are all over the place right now. Jeff Wright's giving it everything he's got. Justin Ritchie sliding up into the inside of Philip Brewer, trying to get that top 5 or top 4. And Shepard coming back at him.
Fourth spot was up for grabs. Remember, the 44 Brewer catapulted himself back into the playoff or into the chase picture with that win last week. Gained 5 spots. He's going to set sail for 4th position. It's a battle for 5th between Ritchie and Shepard. Coming up on 5 to go. Bailey Turner with half a second lead over Jeff Wright.
It's just not going to be enough for Brewer, and it's nightmare for the 35. Not in the sense that he's going to get a bad finish, but that points lead getting ready to flip in about 5 more laps. Not what he needed, and 13 points, huge difference. Remember, he was Turner 4 points back coming into this race, so unofficially it's probably going to be about a 9-point lead, but that or a 10-point lead, but that's only if he hangs on.
That's if these drivers hang on. 5 to go, coming up on 4 left. Reggie Ortega, Justin Ritchie side by side.
And Jeff Wright's giving it everything he's got. I mean, he's closed the gap, but it's just not enough right now to have a shot at the 24's bumper. I've seen him slide off every corner trying.
Three to go from Bristol. Chase race 4. Bailey Turner, your leader. Driving it as hard as he can.
Bouncing off the wall every single lap that 48 is.
If you want to go get it, it's right there in front of you, but man, is it a hard drive here. This half-mile oval, and mistake-free for Bailey Turner. He knows he's got Jeff Wright pushing the car to catch him. White flag, 1 to go. This is going to do it. Wrap up. Chase race 4, season number 6. Bailey Turner finds his way to victory lane late in the season.
Talk about clutch wins. That's up there with maybe one of his finest.
We were talking about Joshua Banks possibly getting a repeat championship. Well, what about this guy? He's a champion here as well.
He just took a big step towards getting number 2 himself. I mean, he might not have been the fastest. I think we'll talk to him. He probably won't think he was the fastest car either, but it all comes down to those last restarts. You got a guy trying to win the race on old tires, and anything can happen, and he got such a good restart to get in front of the 48 in the first place, into turn 1, and that I think that was the difference. Being the first one to get the 54 with that great restart. Put him in a position where he might just be able to get number 2.
Post-race interviews with your top 3. Those final race results. Bailey Turner finds his way back to victory lane, and that will flip the points with Jeff Wright, Joshua Banks finishing on the podium. Post-race interviews in just a moment here on VSPEED. You're watching Saturday Night Racing League.
Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
He knew it was just a matter of time. 100 Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1, 2, 3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and rolling costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back to the football stadium with cars in it. Bailey Turner has found his way to victory lane. Jeff Wright going to be runner-up. What a long race it was. Race recap and those final race results on your screen. It's going to be Bailey Turner, 16th to 1st. With 11 cautions and 9 lead changes, Turner going to lead that last lap. Jeff Wright ends up finishing in 2nd after leading a lot of these laps. Had to compete there. A lot of contact with the 35 and 54 in these last 20. We'll get to that in just a moment, but there's your top 3. Philip Brewer. Not the day he wanted, but a day good enough to still give him a chance mathematically, I think, going into Kansas. Then you have J.R. Shepard with a top 5 finish. These guys really turned up the heat. We're looking at a possibility of a new champion still on the table. Angelo Horonis will finish in the 6th spot. A great day for the 29. Didn't say his name much. Reggie Ortega, we mentioned him a few times, especially early in the race, but the 2-car able to salvage the top 10. Justin Ritchie, the underdog, in my opinion, the 55, fought hard from 24th to 8th. Ben Laughter, a top 10, solid day for the 64, and Casey Lakatos rounding out that 10th spot.
Yeah, I believe Richie will be the biggest mover, 16 positions on the day for him, so I think we'll be pretty happy with that. Ryan Carwell will get 11th. AJ Travado looking to be, he was looking to be the biggest mover, but not quite the case. Had some issues at the end, ended up 12th. 13th for Chuck Sweeting, another driver we saw him kind of fade. He got back into the top 15 at least. Stephen Davis, he got 13 positions. He ended up 14th. Bryce Shoemaker, the gamble did not pay off. He ends up with a top 15 at the end of the day, though. Brian Chambliss, he was in a lot of incidents. 16th for him. Caleb Weekly, 17th. Elliott Butler blinked his way to 18th place finish. He started 18th, finished 18th. That definitely tells the whole story about how his race went. And Christopher Hodges ends up in the 19th spot. Ray Massey, who started in the top 3, could not get his second Bristol victory. He ends up 20th.
Well, and to make light of it one more time, Elliott Butler, I think if you look at the blinking issue that he had, he was fighting for a championship, but at the same time, it's 18th position to 18th position. I don't know that he saw a lot of it here tonight. It was a struggle in itself to be there in that position. And that car probably had to deal with a lot and communicate to everybody on the racetrack where he was. Going back to 21st spot with Rob Hamp, Michael Jones will finish in 22nd for the 22 after starting in 23rd. Brandon Wallace, we saw contact there after staying out, who ended up 23rd. And it's Garrison who got heavy damage in this late race in 24th. Then you have Hayes making his second appearance in 25th. Dakota Floyd, the pole sitter here tonight. As soon as he lost control of the race, lost control of his destiny for the championship, and he'll end up in 26th spot. Tim Shanoski, 27th. Roger Vaglavic, Kenny Kibbe, another one of those outstanding drivers here in this chase format, and Keith Shoemaker rounding out your field. But it's time to take you down to Victory Lane, where a driver that we haven't talked to in a minute found his way back here. It's going to be the 24 of Bailey Turner, and Connor Horn has caught up with that driver.
And it was a very important victory for him to get. We talked about it last week, Bailey. It kind of felt like it could be your championship hopes in if you didn't get the victory, or if the 35 got the victory. Obviously, the restarts played a big factor, but how big of a win is this for you? Is this the biggest win of the season for sure?
Yeah, I think, just circumstantially, that's got to be the biggest one of the season. Last week I felt like I got one ripped away from me, and not a lot of confidence coming in here. Came in late to practice, just didn't really have a great feel on it, and just I felt like we were putting ourselves in position to be successful. That first run of the race, I really used my stuff up, thinking that we were going to get a quick caution just because this car was such a handful on the long run, and started to actually go backwards. So we needed that yellow when it came, and then just restarts, taking the track position when we can, and like you said, circumstantially there at the end with the Bryce kind of choosing the different lanes. I'm glad he chose the bottom when I was down there, because I tried to hang on Jeff's right rear up top, and with the track getting cleaned off every run and every caution, there was just nothing left in the top lane. So yeah, that was wild race. It was white knuckle the whole way. Those last 50 laps, just me and Josh and Jeff just duking it out. The few heavyweights of the league all right up front together, and we all kept it pretty clean. So that was nice to see.
Yeah, it was definitely clean. Had a little bit of contact from a lot of drivers, but for the most part, you kept it clean for sure. Like you mentioned, biggest win of the season, unofficially a 10-point lead going into next week. But you talked about how white knuckle it was, that final restart. How tough was it to pass without having a tire advantage? It seemed like once the track cooled off, it was really hard to get anything done.
Yeah. It was. The top, like you said, the top lane started to go away, and you're just holding on. The car had no rear security on entry, and you're just kind of babying that right rear through the corner, just waiting to kind of put the throttle down. And when you have Jeff Wright chasing you down, and I was just running every lap like it was a Q lap, and just praying I didn't lose the rear end on entry, and started to back it off those last 2 laps because I knew I had a little bit of a gap, and luckily, like you said, brought it home.
Definitely brought it home for sure. Somehow your first win in 2 months since, I believe, end of May at Nashville. So get back in the winner's circle at a good time. You're tied for second in wins this season with 4 with Joshua Banks unofficially. He's 10 back. Philip Brewer's third, 26 back. It's really down to you two. And now you go to a mile and a half where obviously almost certainly both of you will be at the front, and it's pretty much winner takes all between you two. Do you think you have a leg up on them? How do you expect to roll into next week feeling about it?
Yeah, points wise, like you said, leg up, but that puts a little bit more pressure on Josh. But at the same time, I think if there's one Achilles heel I've had all season, which I'm sure you've been able to point out, is not the top 2 pace usually on the mile and a half. We'll have it here and there, but that's been where my struggle's at. So I think I'll have to put in a little bit of work this week if I get an opportunity. And couldn't think of better. Me and Josh have had a rivalry over the years, and now we're teammates. But couldn't think of a better person to kind of battle it out with here at the end. And I'm sure there's some other guys that probably aren't. I haven't even got to look at the points. I'm sure they're not out of the hunt just yet. Anything can happen, but yeah, a lot more comfortable position this week finishing this race than last week. So glad to kind of see things go our way for once.
Yeah, unofficially Brewer 26 back, Wright 34 back, Shepard 44 back. So it's really going to be a tight battle between you and Joshua Banks, likely at the front at Kansas for our season finale. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to teammates Angelo. He kind of gave me a little feedback before the session to kind of give me an idea of what's going on with the setup. So I appreciate him. AJ coming back. Obviously Josh, he had the opportunity to kind of screw me over a couple times tonight, and he didn't. So I appreciate him being a good teammate and always trying to repay the favor. And yeah, you guys in the booth, gonna be fun to go back and watch this thing, and all the league admins for putting this together every week, and kind of looking forward to getting our Saturday nights back. But we're gonna finish it out next week.
And win number 4 on the season, win number 17 all time, but probably the most important win you've had in a long time in this series. Bailey, you'll be the points leader next week. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week. We'll see you in Kansas, and maybe we'll be talking to you as a champion, but good luck.
Appreciate it.
I mean, we talk about the playoff system all the time, and we don't use that. And playoff system, you kind of get those manufactured clutch wins. This one was as clutch and as natural as it gets. You had the restarts, yeah, but he had to earn that. He got the restart. It was a huge moment.
Yeah, and that chase format versus the playoff format, you still have those moments in the season where you have to win, and there's no guarantees either way. I think this format fits me better. I don't know about you, Connor, but I can keep up with this a little bit more. Drivers go out and participate in a championship, and it is consistency throughout. You can't just win your way into something, and that's where I appreciate it more when it comes down to, okay, I'm fine with having elimination. I'm fine with getting rid of drivers that maybe mathematically weren't possible to win, but then you put guys on a pedestal. So they better perform. And I think that's the best way to put it, is that the guys that performed all season long earned their way in there and continue to do well. And Bailey Turner did really good in the regular season. It's been such a long hiatus. You said it, back to May. We're talking about a 2-month span of time. We're in August now, and the 24 finds his way back in the late season. It has a real shot at a championship. We weren't even talking about that in the pre-race. We were talking about the 35. We were talking about, the 48. Bailey snuck one out here. But now it's time to bring up our previous champion, Jeff Wright. 2nd place finish here. And Jeff, I know 6 wins. When I say that to you, that sounds like a great season. But it was all the other things that have come up here, and you're not mathematically out of it, I think, officially. But, man, has it been a roller coaster of emotions. And this racetrack, I felt like it was a roller coaster in itself, just getting around here tonight.
Yeah, it certainly was. This car was on edge, and, despite it being night and relatively cool temperatures, yeah, the cars were just slipping, sliding all over the place. And it really seemed like the bottom of the track was where you needed to be tonight. And those who could run that well over the long haul were, pretty solid and going to be tough to beat. And then, yeah, there at the end, we kind of all knew, if Bailey got the lead, I got the lead, Josh got the lead, they're probably going to hang on, for those last, several 30, 35 laps or so. So unfortunate we couldn't get it done tonight, but a lot of fun out there. It's always fun racing with these guys. Big congrats to Bailey on the win here at Bristol. Not surprised. I think he won the last time we were here at Bristol. So he's such a good short track racer, and he has a lot of short track wins across various different tracks. So it's tough to beat him, but would have loved to do it tonight. But unfortunately, yeah, just one spot short. But we're gonna go to Kansas next week, and we'll try to finish this season off strong. Bradley, it's been a lot of fun, but I think, we're also kind of ready for a bit of a break here on Saturday nights as well. I think Bailey mentioned that as well. So all in all, fun night. And yeah, we'll try to go cap it off next week with a win.
I'm not going to take full credit for this, but happy birthday. I want to shout that out now. I don't know if that's true or not, but
hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Mr. Cooper. It is my birthday. Would have been cool to get the win there on the birthday, but 2nd place, we'll take it tonight. And sometimes at Bristol, I mean, you just got to be happy to survive. And we had some close ones tonight, that's for sure. So to really even have a chance and be in the running at the end of this race, to have a shot at it. Sometimes, we'll just be happy to take that and we'll move on. But yeah, wasn't able to get that birthday win, Bradley. We'll have to try another time, unfortunately.
Now, I want to ask you just, going back deeper into this race, there was a moment where me and my co-commentator Connor Horn, we saw that defense on the inside. You allowed the 24, and we kind of thought maybe that was the end of the race there if Bailey got the lead. Did you feel like that was a mistake? Was it just the car handling ill? What happened there and allowed the Bailey? Was it speed? What happened?
Yeah, for some reason on those initial starts, I really kind of wanted to just be on the bottom of the racetrack. It seemed like on cold tires, the car was just super on edge. You couldn't drive it in hard. At least I wasn't able to, middle to the top of the track. And so if you overstep it just a little bit, I mean, the back end of the car just comes around. And so I tried to drive in there, as hard as I could to keep him from clearing me, but he just nailed that corner. He was really solid there. On the bottom of the racetrack, wrapped the bottom. And once he cleared me, I kind of figured, I was like, well, there's our chance to get the win. But after we were able to clear the 54, I think we had, 10 laps to go. And I knew that was going to be really tough to run him down. But I started pushing the car, and I think I was sideways the entire final, 5-10 laps of the race. So we certainly left it all out there. That's for sure.
It's going to be interesting to watch back. We watched you wheel that thing, and we watched it from first person. We watched it from the edge of the wall. I think you kissed the wall at least 12 times there in those last 5 laps, and you did everything you could, but you still have that chance going on to Kansas. Jeff Wright, 6 seasons here for Saturday Night Racing League. You're a big part of it. Anybody you have to shout out?
Yeah, just big thanks to all of our sponsors to help us do this thing. So it takes a lot of people to be able to run leagues like this, and a lot of financial support from some great sponsors. And we certainly got that with M&J Distributors. Joshua Banks, appreciate everything he's done for us the past few seasons. That's just been a massive help to be able to put these events on. 29 Graphics, Walk and Roll and Costumes, Juicy Spider Studios, Clark Print Shop, FireStorm Racing. And we had the president and CEO of Tractor USA watching the race tonight here on VSPEED. I was hoping we could get it done for him, Bradley. One spot short, but I'm just thankful for all the guys that we have to be able to make these things happen. And then just huge thanks to you and Connor all season long. You guys do great work with these broadcasts. So much fun to go back and watch these. Wish we could have got the win, but unfortunately a P2. And yeah, we'll shout out Bailey Turner again. He's a 2-time Bristol winner here in this league now, so he certainly knows how to get around this racetrack.
And we could have a 2-time champion going on into Kansas. We will see you next week. Personally won't be there, but I hope whatever happens for a good reason. And until then, August 8th.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
There you have it. Second place finisher here tonight at Bristol. And finally, we have our third place finisher, Joshua Banks. We're pulling into the broadcast booth, caught up on pit road. Joshua, we just talked to you in third place. We're going to talk to you again, but this time you're in a more familiar place. So you're feeling a little bit better about that, I'm sure. But overall, the damage there on the right front of the car, I can tell you're a little upset. This championship means a lot.
Oh, yeah. It was hard racing, and I just didn't have it fall my way to race. I mean, I tried to do what I could to get to the lead, just never could get up there and had enough time to do it. Jeff and Bailey had definitely had fast cars on a very, very short run. Fire off was really good. Just needed a really good long run, and that's where I think the car really shined for me. So just couldn't get it tonight, unfortunately. And thankfully we got P3, but got a hill to climb next week at Kansas.
Now, we got a long road up to this point, but that road's even longer. You have 7 days to think about how do you prep for the final race of season 6. Josh, we know that you have put in the time in this B car to be competitive everywhere we have went. You've put on a great show. You've been up towards the front. You have a lot of poles. You have a lot of race wins. Now 4 and that flip there. Does that calibrate your mind to say, okay, I'm going to go get this thing?
I mean, every week I try to go in thinking we're going to try to win, do the best we can, and just focus on just each race 1 week at a time for sure. But new circumstance, I'm not the points leader going into the final race like last time, so don't have a cushion or anything to work with. We got to go out there and win, because Bailey's going to run good, and just got to be in front of him, and that's the key. And I couldn't do that tonight, keeping him behind me, and I tried. Just cautions kept falling in the wrong times, and nothing seemed to just fall my way. So we tried to stay on top of it, but just couldn't make it work. But we just go in Kansas next week like a normal race, try to anyway, and go out and try to get a win. And Kansas could be good. I don't know. Last time, had a little altercation with Jeff, but before that, we had pretty decent pace, and I think in a Gen 4 car. So hopefully that'll carry over to this car and see what happens. That's all we can do.
Statistically, Joshua, you look good at the 1.5 miles, and you are one of the favors for this championship. One final question for you. Put this car on the podium. Who do you have to shout?
Well, you guys up in the booth, always doing a good job with the broadcasting, and always the admins for putting on this good league and for what they do each and every week. And of course, all our sponsors that are on board: Clark Print Shop, 29 Graphics, Juicy Studios, M&J Distributors, Walk and Rolling Costumes, everybody that's on board. So appreciate everybody tuning in each and every week, and just try to finish the season out strong with a banger, put on a good show. Hopefully it's easy, but I doubt it. Each race is a challenge, so we'll see how it goes next week, and hopefully we can come away with a chip.
Best things in life are worth that work, and I'm sure that you're going to come back next week ready to go. Joshua Banks, appreciate you coming and talk to us.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
There you have it. Third place finisher here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Connor, that's going to do it for us here at Bristol. It's on to the next one. The racetrack that, we've had mid-season races at. We've never made it our season finale before.
It's going to be an interesting one. We've seen good racing at this racetrack, Kansas Speedway. We see the bottom line come in. We see the wall come in. We're going to see 3 or 4 different lines, but we're going to see a lot of aggression, especially between the 24 and 35, and obviously unofficially in points. Philip Brewer's 26 points back, third in points. He's unlikely. It's going to take a lot for him to get that title, but as far as Turner and Banks are concerned, they're going to be in the top 5 for most of the race. Whoever wins that race wins the championship out of those two. So the aggression is going to be high on every single restart between those two to try to get to the front and try to get that win. I mean, both drivers going for title number 2. Maybe things go wrong. Philip Brewer, Jeff Ray can pick up the scraps, but it's going to be really a 1v1 going into next week, and it should be a good race too.
You can catch that here August 8th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Connor Horn will be your host. We will have an alternate producer here on VSPEED to help bring you this championship race. I will not be here. I will not exist this weekend. So hopefully everything goes smoothly, and I'm sure it will. We have an excellent guy lined up, and Connor, I know you're going to do an excellent job there on the lead commentary. But for everybody at VSPEED that puts this all together, for everybody here at Saturday Night Racing League, M&J Distributors, Walk and Roller Costumes, Clark Print Shop, Tractor USA out there viewing here tonight, RSR Driver Cams, and FireStorm Racing. Everybody helps put this together. Anna Baker, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, Logan Threlkeld. Bristol for race number 4 of the chase, on to Kansas for the season finale of season number 6. It's a showdown between Bailey Turner and Joshua Banks. The flip-flop in the points coming up in just a week's time. Stay tracking, everybody.